Did you suffer pretty badly with hay fever then, Ross?
Yes, really badly.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, it does make me think of... who was that band that did a song about the pollen count?
Well, I had no idea.
It was called, like, the Pop Singer's Fear of the Pollen Count or something. Oh, it's the guys that did the opening theme for Father Ted.
Chris, music's not my specialist subject.
Fair enough.
I've been listening to podcasts like almost exclusively for like a decade.
They're named after like a classic piece of literature as well. It'll come to me. Anyway, this is a review show where we review the pollen count and the temperature and stuff. And 90s bands that we can't remember the name of. But probably more likely TV, movies and
Ned
and
Atomic
stuff.
Dustbins.
What?
Ned's Atomic Dustbins.
Ned's Atomic Dustbins. What's that?
Yeah, it's just a 90s band.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever heard of them. The Divine Comedy. That's the name of the band.
Right.
Anyway, we do have another podcast if you'd like to have a listen to it. The snooze button. It's all the news and stuff. But for now, here we go. Review show. Have some music. Hello, ladies and gents. Welcome to the Review with the Crew show with Mr. Ross Murphy.
Hello.
And me, Mr. Chris Quinton. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
What have you been up to, Ross? How's the house coming along?
Slowly. It's just wrong time of year now, isn't it? Like, get to the weekend, it's like, what? Should we do stuff on the house or go and see people
And have a barbecue.
and go to the beach? Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do that instead.
Yeah, absolutely. I know exactly what you mean.
Like, I'm at the point now where I'm like, as long as I'm in my bedroom and the bathroom's done and the lounge is cozy for the winter.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because you can do everything else during the
Yeah.
winter. You know?
Yeah, we just need a bit of space at the moment. We need one room done so that we can unpack some stuff. And
Is
put
it
in
stopping you from consuming stuff, though?
Yes.
Is it still?
Yeah. Well, that and the World Cup. So when
World Cup's been pretty good, actually. I've really gotten into it this year. I don't just mean because of the England game, obviously. I mean, because like there's just been some really good, quite dramatic football.
Yeah, like lots of it. I just, even if I've watched 20 minutes of a game, like it was Portugal and Uruguay the other day.
Yeah.
It was 20 minutes of end-to-end football.
It was 4-3, no?
No, that was the France.
That was France.
Game.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, the Portugal-Uruguay game, they were 1-0 up and they drew level and then they went on to win. I was just like, that was brilliant.
Right.
And then I watched 2 penalty shootouts the other day.
One of them Russia by any chance?
Yep. And then the Denmark and Croatia one.
I didn't see that game. Anyway, do we talk about football on this podcast? I don't know. It doesn't matter. The World Cup's very good at the moment. Everybody's quite excited by it.
Unless your team's not in it, then you're probably from a country that's not very good at football.
Yeah,
like Spain
America.
Or America.
Yeah,
Or
sorry,
Germany.
American listeners.
Or Germany or Holland.
Well, they
Or
were in it.
Italy.
They've just, they've been kicked out.
Yeah, well,
They're
Holland and the Netherlands and Italy didn't even qualify.
Did they not? They've been in it before.
Or you're Scottish or Welsh.
Anyway,
Yep.
what else have you been watching, Ross?
Oh, I saw Downsizing last night.
Ah, right, okay. So from your face, I guess perhaps you didn't like it.
I tried to like it. I really did.
It's quite heavy going, isn't it?
Starts off really well, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
It's like a really elaborate like Black Mirror episode.
Yeah.
And then somewhere...
It's literally, even the first half of the second act is pretty good. It's just like the third act is just heavy, like weird, strange. It doesn't need to go there, does it?
No,
So, what we didn't do last time, because obviously we've spoken about downsizing before on the show, but what I didn't explain to everybody is why the third act was rubbish. And why the third act was, well, I wouldn't necessarily say rubbish. What it tries to do is send a message, but it does it in quite a confusing way, right?
Yeah.
So what happens in downsizing, Ross, basically? Do you want to tell everyone? Tell the people at home, Ross, what happens in downsizing?
Downsizing is a movie about making things small, including humans. Right, so, no, actually, weirdly, for a movie, it starts with a lot of backstory. If this was an episode of Black Mirror,
Yeah.
you wouldn't have all this creation of being able to make people small.
True.
You would
Tells you about the science.
You'd
get
be
to know the people.
immediately, the episode would start and you would be able to tell from by osmosis that this is just a thing, you know, like a news article and like a looking in a shop window. And
or it would open with a guy.
You know how zombie movies do it, where they just like there's nobody on the street, and then the first newspaper that blows along is the dead are walking the earth. Yeah. Even Quiet Place did it, didn't it?
I've not seen it yet.
That's a really standard like zombie movie trope, or to do the newspaper blowing and then resting and the camera going.
There's a really good HD quality copy of The Quiet Place.
Yeah.
On the internet at the moment.
Yeah.
It doesn't have any subtitles. So if you understand sign language, specifically American Sign Language, then you could probably watch that movie and enjoy it. But we had a go and we were like, oh, damn it, we can't actually watch it. So there will be some subtitles out there somewhere that I can download and add to if I can find a copy of it to download. But yeah, for the minute, no subtitles.
Yeah, so back to Downsizing. It just has a huge, like, quite a lot of exposition at the start, isn't there? Like they go through the creation of miniaturization.
Yep. Yeah, introduce you to the characters that invented it and stuff.
The whole point of doing it is to try and save the planet.
Yeah.
Because when you're 5 inches tall, you produce hardly any waste and need hardly any materials. So, so then you get all this world building at the start, which is quite interesting because it's like an episode of Black Mirror, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I like it. And then I like it that Matt Damon's character he's just one of life's victims, isn't he? He's just one of those guys who's a bit unlucky.
He gambles on the wrong things. That's the point. In actual fact, that's almost skipping to the end. So yes, you're right. He's unlucky in life, but generally because of the choices that he makes. Yeah,
but I didn't really. I think it's just a bit. He did that thing where standard thing. I did 2 years of college, but had to pull out because his mum's got fibromyalgia.
Right.
And then you can't really blame him for that.
Well, no.
Other than he should have probably gone back, or did he use it as an excuse not to go? Back.
That's kind of how I took it. But
so he decides to get miniaturized because when you get miniaturized, your net worth means you basically live in luxury.
Yeah, so he'd basically be a millionaire.
Yeah.
As soon as he downsizes. And so is everybody. And everybody lives like kings. Tiny little kings. Anyway.
But so he does that, and it's in the trailer, but it should not be in the trailer.
It shouldn't have been in the trailer at all.
About his wife bails on him.
Yeah. So he goes and gets miniaturized, and she's...
And this process is irreversible.
Yeah.
So he arrived, and then so that's his next thing. Like that divorce goes wrong, and he ends up being poor, and now he's poor and little.
And he gives away all of... Yeah, he basically lets her take whatever she wants instead of fighting for it. Yeah.
And then he meets Christoph Waltz's character, who's quite interesting.
Yes, animal type.
He's a party animal,
host.
but he's been using his large-sized brother to help him. So he's able to buy a $50 cigar and make that's how he's making his money, isn't it? He's buying $50 Cuban cigars and turning them into 2,000 Cuban cigars for little people, but only charging them $1.
Yeah.
And so he's like filthy rich. He has this really cool party, doesn't he?
Every day.
And
that's the thing, yeah. And he's his downstairs neighbour, or it's Christoph Waltz lives upstairs from Matt Damon, yeah.
Yeah, and his guy with the boat's a bit of a weird character. The Vietnamese, and he meets this Vietnamese lady with like one leg.
And she wants to help
I'll have
everybody.
to be honest, I fell asleep at some point after this.
Right, that's fine. Completely understandable.
I do not know what happened after the party, and then they're on the Norwegian fjords. I do know that there was that bit about even in this luxury, like little people land, that there's the really poor people still have to go through a hole in the wall they've made.
Yeah.
And they live outside in the shit bit.
Yeah. So there's still like a shanty town nasty bit that's been built onto the side of their luxury, like little model town that they live in.
Yeah.
And yeah, she was. She's a refugee, so she's in the. So not only are people being downsized to save money for themselves, but governments are downsizing people that have got life sentences in prison and things like that. And she's a refugee from a country where she was forcibly downsized.
Oh yeah, and like in
She was a
Vietnam and
protester
stuff,
or
like
something.
they forcibly downsize people.
Yeah,
like North
as a
Korea.
punishment.
I bet everybody's little apart from Kim Jong Un.
Yeah. He's just walking around the place like, "Wah, Kim Jong Un. No, like Godzilla.
Yeah. There was
Anyway.
not enough in this movie. There was not enough of that.
No, true.
There's not enough of big
Could have had
people
interaction
being dicks
between
to little
bigs and little.
people.
Yeah. But yes, so then what you probably missed then is right at the beginning of the movie. There's a news report that says that the world's going to die because of all the gas in the air. Like
the polar ice caps have melted to the point where they've released so much methane that global warming's inevitable.
Yeah, and so the people that they meet in the fjords, they're going there to find a solution, or at least find a way to save mankind. And what they decide is that they're going to dig a big burrow and go and live in it for 200 years until it's all calmed down.
8,000 years.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Until it's all calmed down. And
Which again is a nice premise, and I like that last bit. I quite enjoyed that bit
but the
of the
two
film.
parts of the movie don't fit together well. That's
No.
the trouble. So he decides that that's the best thing to do because it's the new thing, and off he goes to join that club. And somebody points out to him that, you know what, you should just be thankful for what you got and just stop chasing the next thing and just stop and live. Because otherwise you're just going to keep doing this and spend your life really unhappy. And that's basically the message of the movie, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I don't know what the message of the movie is. Is the message of the movie stop making the wrong decisions?
Be thankful for what you got and stop chasing things. And stay in one place and love people.
Yeah.
And yourself.
I don't know why he does. I'm just trying to work out what... So he did it for his wife, and then his wife bailed on him. So
yeah,
actually,
but she didn't really want to do it in the first place.
She didn't want to be with him either, did she?
No, they were having a troubled relationship, weren't they? And that was the last ditch effort. That was like the thing that could save their relationship was being filthy rich and not having to worry about money.
One good thing. The only good thing with it being sport that she gets shrunk, that she bails on getting shrunk.
Yep.
Is you can see it in her acting that she's already thinking about not doing it.
True.
And knowing that she doesn't do it, I just was like appreciating how good she was in those scenes.
Yeah, she's a very good actress, actually, isn't she? So,
yeah.
Overall, though, it's not a great movie.
Empire gave it 4 stars out of 5.
Did they?
But I fell asleep, and then when I woke up, Anna was on her phone.
Right.
And she was like, "That's the worst movie you've ever made me watch."
Right. I did say it would divide a room.
Yeah.
Interesting to see what other people think about it as well. If anyone else out there has seen it, you'd like to give us your tuppence. Right in.
It's a lot of good ideas poorly executed, as far as I'm concerned.
I just think the whole of the second half of the movie should have been handled differently, personally. But
it ended up a bit more like... So it started off as an episode of Black Mirror, and then it tried to be that Walter Mitty movie.
Yeah.
Which is a better movie than Downsizing. Just
absolutely massively better than Downsizing. I love Walter Mitty.
Same actress as well.
Is it Kirsten Dunst? No, Kirsten...
Wig,
sorry.
Yeah.
In Walter Mitty?
Yeah.
That may have been the first movie I ever saw her in then. Possibly. Without even realising. I love Walter Mitty. I think it's one of the best films to be released in like the last 10 years.
Really?
I honestly recommend it to everybody because it's heartwarming, heartfelt. It's got a brilliant soundtrack. It's well acted, well produced. Some great set pieces. It's like it's Forrest Gump, isn't it? It's the modern Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
Which can only be a good thing. Because even the old Forrest Gump's very good.
Yeah, still a much better film than... is it?
It doesn't stand up well.
Is it a bit gimmicky? Is all the like slicing
now.
Into the to the old footage bit gimmicky?
It is, but it looks terrible now. If you ask somebody to sit down, asked a 15-year-old to sit down and watch Forrest Gump, it'd basically be unwatchable. Special effects are awful.
Is it that bad?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to watch
Go
it
back
now.
and have a look. Whereas Walter Mitty, obviously, it's quite bang up to date. So, and it doesn't need a lot of flashy special effects. It's got some great stuff in it, but yeah, it's all quite subtle.
Yeah.
If you'll excuse the jumping out of helicopters and into burning buildings and stuff. And
Yeah. I like the skateboarding down that
Yeah,
massive
that's
hill in
beautiful.
Iceland's amazing. And
love it. And yeah, all the music, it's Jose Gonzalez, isn't it?
Yes.
With his band, whoever they were called. Can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah.
And he's the guy that did that.
The Bouncing Balls video, Jose Gonzalez.
But is he also the guy who did the guitar section for Crossing into Mexico and Red Dead Redemption?
No idea.
Think so.
I've not played enough of that game. Don't know.
It's brilliant. New one comes out.
Second one's getting some bad press, isn't it?
Is it?
Isn't it in trouble?
No, it's a Rockstar game. It's probably perfect. It's probably already perfect.
I think people were kind of suggesting that it's not going to be good enough to stand up against things like God of War and
What, for Game of the Year?
yeah,
maybe.
God of
but
War
it's-
and what's the Being Human game that you just finished?
Detroit.
Yeah. Let's have a quick look at that. What it was is I saw a YouTube video that was titled "Rockstar in Huge Trouble for Red Dead Redemption 2" that was released on the 9th of June. The YouTube video. So we'll have to have a look at that. I'll pin it to our Facebook page. You can go and have a look at it.
Yeah, I'll have a little sniff and see what's up there.
Cool. You been consuming anything else then, Ross?
Nah, just still watching more Parks and Rec. I've got to the point now where Chris Pratt looks weird as Andy because he's handsome and skinny.
Oh, because at some point he was hired to be a multi-million-dollar actor.
Yeah, he's suddenly become that Chris Pratt.
Right. I need to go and watch some more Parks and Rec. I enjoyed the first couple of episodes. Actually, it brings me quite nicely onto something that I've been watching over the last few days. So who's the guy that did Trailer Park Boys? And he did the mock trailer for the 4th Crocodile Dundee movie just recently. Know the chap I mean?
Yeah, I do, but I don't know who it is.
He's quite famous in America.
Yeah.
We started watching Vice Principals the other day, it was written by him.
Right.
And apparently he approached ABC and said to them, right, I've got this series. There's 2 seasons of it here. This is the full script for both seasons. Give me the money to make it all back to back right now. And they did.
Right.
Because based on the script, it's a very, very good, strong script. And it's absolutely bloody hilarious. It's very good. But it's straight down the same channels as... it's straight down the middle, the same kind of humour as The Office, Parks and Rec I can see straight away. You know, that kind of cringeworthy, but... You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, authority figures, Office-type humour, but at the same time, right in the gutter.
Oh, brilliant. That
Really
sounds
good.
like it's right up my street, that.
Very, very funny.
Is it on Netflix?
No, it's not. You'll have
Right.
to go and find it. You know what I mean? Wink, wink. But it's worth going out and finding it. We only saw the first 2 episodes, but from what I hear, the entire 2-season run, that's it. They're not going to do any more. It's just a perfect 2 seasons, absolutely the same quality all the way through because it was all written at the same time by the same guy. Bang, done. Brilliant.
Excellent.
Supposed to be fucking fantastic all the way through.
I will probably download that then. I have got one more thing I've watched.
Go on.
Have you heard of a TV programme from the BBC? It's on Netflix at the moment called White Gold.
White Gold.
It is about UPVC double glazing salesman in the 80s.
Really?
So it's a period piece.
Okay.
And
it's a
I was
comedy.
a bit unsure to start with because the main character is abhorrent. He's horrible, and you hate him, and he's the worst.
Okay.
And then I started thinking maybe they've said it in the 80s to just so they could get away with making loads of jokes that you just can't get away with making now.
Right.
Like the Irish guy is the window fitter, and they just make loads of jokes about the IRA to him.
Right. Okay.
And it's got Jay and I don't know their real names. Jay and Simon from the In-Betweeners
All right. Yep.
are 2 of the salesmen.
Cool.
And
Well, I say cool. I never really got on with those guys particularly. Actually, In-Betweeners was fine. It's all the stuff they've done since.
no,
All the, like,
do you know
spin-offs
the
and
weird
stuff.
thing is with Simon's character, Simon's character in White Gold,
Go on.
is it feels like that's just where he ended up after the In-Betweeners
So
and
it could quite well
Fresh
be a
Meat.
sequel. Right.
So it's like he went from In-Betweeners, he went to university in Fresh Meat, and then he graduated to this job in
Right.
White Gold.
Okay.
'Cause he's just the same character. He
Right.
can't do anything other than the shitty the guy with the dippy haircut who's a bit over nice.
Right.
And then Jay is the crass, horrible character.
Okay.
Like the
They're not.
bullshitter.
They haven't got the same names then.
Oh no, but they're just the same characters.
Right. Okay.
And I wasn't sure. There's only 6 episodes, and a half hour each.
Okay.
And I wasn't sure to start with. And then by the end of it, I thought I got a lot of laughs out of that.
Okay.
It's funny.
I'll give it a go.
It's pretty quick. It's pretty funny. There's some funny bits in it.
Is that available
There's a
freely on?
It's on Netflix.
Netflix, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a hilarious dogging scene.
Okay. It is straight out of the In-Betweeners, isn't it?
Oh yeah, but they do. There's in it, but it's just funny things from the 80s as well, like video piracy and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just watch it. It's funny.
I shall give it a try. Right, quick couple of things from me then. So I watched Wes Anderson's latest movie, Dog Island.
Oh, it's animated thing,
Hang on.
isn't it?
Isle of Dogs.
Isle
The
of
animated
Dogs.
films, yeah, the animated movie, yeah. Do you like Wes Anderson,
You
generally?
always ask me this. I'm just like, no, I don't think I've ever seen one of his films.
Ooh, Grand Budapest Hotel,
No,
Fantastic
I
Mr.
keep meaning
Fox,
to watch that, but
Life
no.
Aquatic.
No.
Watch the Grand Budapest Hotel.
Yeah.
That's a great way in. It's very typical Wes Anderson. In actual fact, all of his films are. They're all ultra typical Wes Anderson. He's got a very unique sort of style, and he expects a certain delivery out of his actors, and he just gets it, nails it every time. And it's very humorous, very light. And I think perhaps you need to watch a couple of his films to really get it. I might be wrong in saying that, but I didn't get it to start with. I thought The Life Aquatic was the biggest piece of garbage I'd ever seen when I first saw it. But upon rewatching, after watching all of his other films, it's genius. It's very, very good.
Right.
So he's very good. And yes, this completely carries over into Isle of Dogs. Now, Isle of Dogs didn't get the best reviews in the world, but personally, I think it stands right up there with Wes Anderson's best stuff. It's really charming, really humorous. It's got the same punch that he always delivers in his films. And the characters are animated. It's just genius. Now, if you're going to watch it at home, there is a decent copy out there, freely available. What we said earlier on about subtitles in things, go and watch the film, and there aren't subtitles, but there aren't supposed to be.
Right.
So the Japanese characters that are speaking Japanese in it,
You're not supposed to know.
you're not supposed to know what they're saying. It does get kind of translated for you in bits and bobs here and there by like a newsreader who is reading the news to somebody in America when it's being broadcast on television from Japan and things like that. There's quite clever ways that it interprets what's being said for you. So you don't need subtitles. I did see an article actually the other day suggesting what it might be like to watch the film as a Japanese speaker. So I'm going to go and have a look at that. That's quite interesting. But I'd be quite interested to see how the language comes across.
Didn't they get real Japanese people to say...
Until I read this article,
They wrote the lines in English and then gave them to a Japanese person and said, translate that.
Quite possibly. But again, I'm going to go and read this article. If at some point you watch this film and it comes up on the review podcast again, I'll let you know then.
Cool.
Yes. Although if you're a Wes Anderson fan, I definitely recommend watching Isle of Dogs. I found it so charming and so just watchable, and for Gilly to watch something like this as well, for my missus to watch something like this as well, it's quite rare. She got all the way through it. So yeah, very, very good indeed. And the other thing I've been watching, I caught the remake of Fahrenheit 451.
Oh, I was going to ask you. That's funny I didn't ask that, because I was going to ask you in the review in the other show.
Right.
What's going on with Fahrenheit 451?
Oh, okay. Well, as in...
Because we were talking about busy actors, and I was thinking Michael B. Jordan's busy.
Yeah, Michael Shannon's busy as well, isn't he?
So tell me, Fahrenheit 451, any good?
It's all right. It's a bit confused, I think. So what it is, they've brought the story into the modern age. So what they've done with books, I don't know, you've read the original book, right?
Yeah.
Fahrenheit 451. So
They're doing it for everything like technology and the internet and stuff.
no.
Right.
So the internet still exists.
But it's hugely censored, is it?
It's controlling people, literally. Like, it's almost like a blend of Fahrenheit 451 and 1984.
Right.
Whereas
okay.
everybody is watched all the time through little devices that they have in their home.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's in the book.
Yeah, I think
as
it
well.
is in Fahrenheit 451 because everyone has computers, everyone has these TVs that just control their lives.
Right.
Yes, that is
Okay.
a plot point.
Right, okay. So all the books in the world...
It keeps the population subdued.
Right. So the books have all been... Obviously, they're being destroyed by the main characters who are firemen. The firemen go around burning books.
Yeah.
And any existing books that the government or official body decrees are worthy of saving, what they do with the stories is they break them down into the very, very basic points of the plot, and you can read a whole book in a passage, basically. Right. And that passage, again, is broken down into symbols, so it's not even words anymore. It's just symbols that explain what the story does, and boom, the actual books are disposed of in order to like erase the chaos from people's minds,
right?
And
okay.
keep them, you know.
So a little bit of equilibrium in there as well,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Now all of that sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
But somehow or another, they made it boring.
How?
They just kind of, I don't know, they just weren't really on point with the storytelling. I think they could have just been a bit more kind of on the pulse. They could have actually, thinking about it, been a carbon copy of 1984, and it would have been more interesting than it is.
In this movie's defence, the movie version of Fahrenheit 451 and 1984 aren't very good.
What, the books?
No, the movies.
The
The books are
I've never
seminal,
seen the movie
like,
of 1984, actually.
Are some of the most important books ever written, aren't they?
Well, 1984 is pretty good at the beginning and the end. It sags in the middle for me a little bit. But
it's not very long, though, is it?
Not particularly. But how does the book end, Fahrenheit 451?
Can't remember.
So in this,
I'm going to watch it. Don't tell me the end.
I won't tell you the very end, but it's exactly like 1984. As in, no, not the end.
Right.
But like the beats of the story are very, very similar to 1984. And yeah, it just needed a better ending. It's
and this
all right.
is coming out of the cinema, is it? I keep thinking it's an Amazon thing.
No, it's HBO.
Right.
So it's an HBO movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was on HBO, and now it's on the internet.
Yes.
Okay.
But again, not through official channels in the UK, so you'll have to go and hunt for it.
Yes.
But it's worth watching, I think. I'd be interested to see what you think of it. Overall, it was all right. It just wasn't well executed enough. And it's a shame, because it's quite heady source material for this day and age.
Yes.
You know, could have been better.
That is a shame. I will watch it and report back to you.
Cool.
Once our masters say it okay.
Once what?
Once our masters say it is okay.
Our masters?
Yes.
What masters?
The ones controlling us.
Right, in the meantime, is there anything else you want to talk about before we end this here podcast?
Not really, no.
No? Cool, that'll do us.
Yes.
If anyone out there would like to go and check out anything we do outside the podcast, folks, please go and look at our Facebook page. There's loads of links there for stuff that we do, music, comedy, gamer profiles, and all that sort of jazz. Be glad to get followers and stuff on those, as well as reviews for this one. Go and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check us out on all sorts of places on the internet.
Write us a review on your podcast app of choice. It really does help.
This is true, actually.
Nobody's done one for ages.
We could do with some of those.
And
seeing as we're getting some new listeners at the moment, thanks very much for listening, everyone. It's
please
greatly
write
appreciated.
reviews.
Oh yeah, better do honourable mentions for Libsyn and Stitcher, who wrote 1984 and Fahrenheit 451, of course.
Yep, and then burnt them both because they were books.
If you'd like to write into us about anything at all, whether you've reviewed something or you think there's something we should see, or if you have any comments or anything at all, please do so. snewwiththecrew@gmail.com, Facebook us, tweet at us, anything you like at us. We'll pick it up and read it out on the show wherever appropriate. So, right, that'll do us. Ross, say goodbye, mate.
See you later.
Adios, folks.
Ta-ra.
We'll see you another time. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.